Benjamin Piatti.
Soul Casino. Act 1, Scene 1. Setting, swampland on an island off the Louisiana coast that holds a purgatory for deceased souls. Sunset, present day. At rise, Zydeco music is audible. Brenda, a ghost with a beehive and cat-eye glasses, hunches over a desk that holds a large book of records of souls. Prudence enters, crosses to Brenda, and continually slaps her arms for mosquitoes.
Damn! Tiny flying devils! Death by mosquito, that will be my epitaph.
Brenda thumbs through her large book on the desk.
Nothing in the records about a soul crossing over because of mosquito bites. Of course, there's no mosquitoes anymore when you cross over that threshold there. Silver lining of dying, I guess. What's your name, Puddin'?
Who are you?
Brenda, currently secretary for the Department of Purgatory. Also temporary waitress, bartender, store clerk, auctioneer, announcer, and wedding officiant when you get to actual purgatory. This is more of a waiting room for the waiting room.
What's the waiting room I'm waiting to get into?
Brenda pulls out a map, unfolds it, and indicates the layout of purgatory.
That would be purgatory, the space before you seal your eternal fate of heaven or hell. Don't be fooled, though. This marsh of the dead is surprisingly lively. Oh, let's say, if you take that path, we got a casino, runs 24 hours a day, lots of table games. Don't bother with the slots. We got shows for the non-gambler. There's a buffet and a band. You go past that, and we've got a Roaring Twenties themed speed dating room, my favorite.
I imagined it to be more religious, I guess.
No need for all that. Once you're here, the deal is done. The stage is set, so to speak, so we have lots of fun. Word is tennis courts are being built on the far side of the grove.
So the afterlife is just like an all-inclusive old folks cruise ship package. I'm just here to meet someone, and since I'm alive, I don't need the map.
The person you're here to meet, living or dead?
Living, breathing, about yay high, dark hair, glasses. Have you seen?
I'm not at liberty to say who has crossed over and who hasn't. That's confidential.
I see you have a little setup here. Maybe you didn't see the no trespassing sign at the shore, but this is private property, my family's property.
Before you go on, you'll need to take a number and wait like everybody else.
Prudence continues to walk past Brenda. Sounds of hounds become audible. Prudence stops as Brenda hands her a ticket with the number on it.
There are dogs here? Since when?
Not dogs. Dog. One dog. 3 heads. I wouldn't ignore him either. He's not as sweet as me. He's got one job here, to kill trespassers.
You're trespassing. You're trespassing. You can't just squat here with your dogs.
Only people that enter purgatory here, who the book says, can enter. Nothing in here about another Robichaux dying and coming today.
Thief? You're the one that stole my purse. I had it in the boat with me on the way over, and I fell asleep. Had the glasses on my eyes, and when I woke up, it was gone.
Prudence circles her desk, looking for the purse. As she circles, the sound of the hounds get louder.
You're not going to find your purse here. I'm no thief. Maybe you ought to keep your eyes open on the ferry next time.
How do you know my last name, then?
I know your grandfather. You have his eyes, you know. Deep set, same little gap in your front teeth. Remarkable. Same hairline around your forehead, too.
My grandfather passed away years ago, and whatever charade you got going on here, it's not funny. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Leave now before I call the cops.
Brenda remains still, not willing to budge. She carries on with her secretarial duties. Prudence grabs the book of records and begins to read aloud.
Agnes Thibodeau, smallpox, died November 27th, 1757. Frederick Turner died in battle December 5th, 1757. Philippe Sedgwick lost at sea October of 1758. What is this? A record of death?
That's exactly what it is. Purgatory starts just as you pass that grove of pecan trees.
Prudence starts to walk to the pecan grove, then stops.
This is such bullshit. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Go on. Just walk a few more steps there, honey.
Prudence crosses toward stage right and runs into an invisible wall, indicating a large barrier that is impassable through pantomime.
The entire line of saints can't push through that barrier.
Saints fan, are you? Don't look like much of a footballer.
Michael, Raphael, Ezekiel, a whole order of saints comes through here now and again.
Prudence panics and continues to try to find a way through the barrier. Finally, she lays down on the ground in exhaustion and defeat, dropping the book of records. Brenda quickly retrieves it and stands over her.
Now do you believe?
I must have hit my head on something. I passed out on the boat on the way over. Maybe I knocked myself out somehow. The sky, there's funny patterns swirling around. Geometrical shapes forming a kaleidoscope. I'm pretty dizzy.
Those funny patterns, that's the entrance to purgatory. Didn't Buford the ferryman brief you on the way over? Poor child. You don't even know you're dead, do you? Although you're not in the book here. I think the gal that used to work here lost her record, honey.
I'm not dead. That's why there's no record. There was no ferry or ferryman. I caught a ride on some skiff along the backwater. I never go along the Gulf to get here. I take back channels. It's faster.
Oh, dear. Well, you snuck your way in then.
Prudence finds a cigarette butt on the ground and sits up, excited.
He's here.
Who's here?
The guy I came to meet. Yep. Camel Straits, that's his cigarette butt, all right.
Prudence sits down on an old rectangular cut stone.
I don't know if you want to sit there.
Prudence jumps up, agitated, wipes the moss and leaves, covering a square tombstone from the 1700s.
That's General Jacques de Jacques' tombstone. Don't know how he'd take it if he comes back to see you sitting on his house.
Here lies General Jacques de... I can't read the last name.
Prudence tries to scrub dirt off the tomb to reveal the last name, but it has been chiseled out.
Somebody took a chisel to it. We just call him General Jacques de Jacques. It's easier than guessing. I do know he's a hero, military man. He sort of claims this area.
Ah, damn these little bloodsuckers. Never should have come here. Should have had him meet me in town.
What you see and what I see are worlds apart.
I don't think I want to see what you're seeing.
This whole property is like a waiting room for souls passing to the other side. Paradise comes when the grand riverboat pulls up to the old pier. Boy, does it shimmer too. All lined in gold. It reminds me of the Vegas Strip. It was 1960 and I had a show there. Boy, did I have a body too. Could bring men to their knees.
Okay, I'll play along. These souls, where does this grand riverboat take them?
Now that's a secret. Nobody tells me that. I'm just a secretary. I run the numbers, fact check, keep the casino in shape.
I'm pretty lucky at blackjack. But what do ghosts win?
Favors. If the ghosts win, they can summon the living here, or they can hire others to do their haunting, or maybe return for a day to their old life.
Fair lady, I see you have finally come. Tell me, madame, does this échappatoire please you?
It's a lovely uh.
Échappatoire means refuge.
The towering boughs of the cypress, the trailing moss that clings from them like our tattered Southern flag, water lilies and magnolia air coursing through the golden sun landscape, but always a foreboding and a sorrow, mon cher, for what I have lost and what I may lose again. You.
General crosses and caresses Prudence' face, brushing her hair from her eyes, gazing at her tenderly. She pulls away, fearful.
I'm sorry. I don't think I'm the girl you're looking for. I mean, I don't really think you know who I am.
No, tried and troubled in my spirit, restless and overburdened in my heart. For I have been more concerned with your life than I have been with my own death. You were to be my bride when those foreign soldiers seized our home and harvest.
Prudence glances at her number and crosses to Brenda. General follows at her heels.
My number says 8,336. Now, what number are you on now?
Let's see here. We're on 8,000. Oh, no, sorry. 800. Whoops, I'm wrong.
God!
8.
Pardon-moi.
Francois, oh, you still speak our language. It has not been lost on you.
Surely you didn't just say you're on number 8.
You heard right. 8. Like 8 legs on a spider. Turn sideways, you got infinity. Put a top hat and a corncob pipe on it, and you got a snowman. 8. Don't worry. Won't be as long wait as you think. Riverboat hasn't carried today's souls over. Which brings confusion, wailing, coming in by the thousands. Everyone trying to find someone they know or someone they lost, not realizing they're fully dead.
Oh, confusion and wailing, I remember it well. It was late autumn 1755. The violent explosion of the Acadians was a crime historique. You cannot imagine the frenzy when the people were torn from their families, villages set fire to. I remember your parents, Emile and Mary. They had you, the eldest, and your sister, Margot. She was in the village of the Grand Prix, and 2,000 men troop rounded up thousands of our people, crowding them into the holds of the transport vessels, so little regard for their necessities and the tenderest ties of nature. They took the Acadians and scattered them across the British colonies of North America. Margot was dragged from her mother and father. Many children were ripped apart by the jaws of greed and hatred for a simple Southern people. And you, my tender bride, had already fled to the forest and hidden in the outskirts there. On the morrow, we were to meet at the church, but you were not there, and that day, that earth devoured my heart, and my sword carried on. Oh, je ne te laisse pas t'aimer, Pierre.
Please, I don't understand what you are saying.
I said, we shall never surrender to the crown. I want to show you the lovely home I have made for us. It's just across the world. May I accompany you across?
You would do that for me?
Oh, I'm attached to your destiny, and never before have I so keenly regretted losing that which no one could bring back to me till now.
I'm immortal, though.
Yeah, you just have to grant me permission.
General extends his hand. Prudence looks to Brenda for reassurance but gets none.
I accept. Thanks for all your help.
General and Prudence link arms and cross stage, indicating they have walked through the invisible barrier without struggle.
Shay means I will never. Partir means let you go. I will never let you go. Uh-oh.
Lights fade. End of scene 1. Act 1, scene 2. Lights up to show saloon-style casino. Cabbage Barkley is shuffling cards on a rickety table at his saloon-themed casino. Enter General and Prudence.
Well, looky who it is. The tomb of the unknown soldier will come to try his luck again. She ain't scared, is she? Come on up here, girl.
General marches past Cabbage, attempting to pull Prudence with him, but she resists and crosses to the card table.
What's the game?
Your pick, miss.
Fine. I'll say blackjack then, Mr.
Cabbage Barkley. Call me Cabbage.
How fitting one should be named after his scent.
Prudence takes a stool and sits down, saddle style, while General paces. Cabbage begins shuffling the deck.
Well, the spang-fired truth is, when I was born, my head was shaped like a little old cabbage. And then one long summer, when I was just a tyke, maybe 5 or 6, the most terrible drought you ever did saw swept through the country and sat on our crops. My family decided they ought to dig a hole and put me in it up to the neck and cover me in a pine straw. They started to water my head for hopes it would turn into a cabbage so they might have something to fill their bellies with. And they's half right. My head got bigger and bigger, but stayed itself, just an old knowledge box. Lo and behold, do you know that after they watered my head for a month, the sky opened up and it started to rain again.
Your parents buried you alive? Nowadays, they'd be hauled off to court.
Nope, hauled off by mosquitoes. You see, skeeters breed in water. So when the rains came, there were so many dang skeeters that carried away my folks and our best cow, Mrs. Butters.
If you could cease your never-ending stream of gabble, we got our whole day planned.
You, of all people, shouldn't be telling me what to do.
General walks away and pulls out his rapier, sharpening it off to the side as a form of intimidation, glaring at Cabbage all the while.
Now, to the game.
Blackjack.
What you gonna bet on?
I suppose, if I win, I want to meet my Acadian ancestors, Emile and Marie and Margot, from the 1700s. The general said they were here somewhere.
Let me tell you something, girlie. This house is a house of liars, telling Wendy's, whoppers, and galley floppers. Now, some of them just started telling lies to pass the time, and some of them will tell you just enough of the truth that you can't figure out if they're lying. But some of them, take the general over yonder, are hard liars. He's lied so much he's convinced himself.
Are you saying he doesn't know my ancestors?
General crosses to card table and begins to hover. Cabbage passes Prudence the deck.
Cut the deck, Missy. So, if you win, you want to meet your ancestors. What do you give up if you lose?
She glances down and pats her pocket for money, then pulls a watch off her wrist, handing it to Cabbage.
My favorite watch.
What are we going to do with a watch in limbo? Remind ourselves of all the time we lost or all the time we wasted?
Dance. If she loses, she dances.
I don't really dance.
We will dance. I would be so honored. A waltz, perhaps, accompanied by our fine fiddle in the corner.
Hey, Slimmy, give us a tune over here.
A Cajun waltz tune is audible.
It really is lovely.
Then it's done. Here we go. You got a 4 of diamonds and a jack of clubs.
Hit me.
2 of hearts.
Hit me.
Ace of diamonds.
Stand.
And I got a 9 and an 8 of hearts. 17. And you got 17. Tied.
Cabbage takes the cards and reshuffles them into the deck. The general practices his waltz in the corner by himself.
Got it. You got a 3 and a king.
Hit me.
9 of diamonds.
Ah, no.
General crosses and peers at her cards. Realizing she has lost, he extends his hand for the dance. As they waltz, Prudence begins to change, seeing the land as it was in the 1700s, and is remembering herself as the young Acadian girl who was driven out of Nova Scotia by the British Army and finally settling in Louisiana. Cabbage and Brenda step forward acting as a chorus, enter Margot playing with a long ribbon.
I remember this place. I know you.
Margot runs up to Prudence, twirling a ribbon around Prudence and the general like a maypole so that their bodies are closer.
And you, Margot, my little sister.
You came before the bayou changed its course. There was a pea row there and 100 lonely fishers. The general waited for his bride along the wharf.
There was a Pierrot there. The pines were just planted. The general waited for his bride along the wharf. Stunned and starving, you washed upon the shore.
The pines were just planted. We built the dikes along the Meriton. Stunned and starving, you washed up on the shore, a bride to be, with a blinding veil of honor, horrors you had seen.
Cabbage crosses to Prudence and fastens a long flowing veil to the crown of her head.
I remember. We were never married. You went into battle again and never returned.
I fought many battles for our people, the Acadians.
The Cajuns.
I saved hundreds, thousands of lives, but I could not save my own. I could not save our love.
I never married again, did I?
As enchanting lass you were, agreeable and so kind. You died the year after. Typhoid fever, so it was. You never came through here, no. You were delivered straight away to meet the Lord himself.
So, why then do I have these memories? Why am I here now?
I do not know.
The general here likes to think he's the boss, but he's got a boss too. We all do. And he ain't here neither. He's up there. Another round of cards, just for kicks.
Brenda takes the role of a waitress, offering a tray full of cocktails.
Y'all staying for the show?
Wait, what are you doing? Aren't you the same one with the book on the other side?
Now, what would make you say that?
Well, for starters, you look and sound exactly like her.
Can't get anything past you, can we?
Where's the other petticoat that serves me? She's much more pleasant.
Brenda sent her running.
She spilled drinks on the card tables.
Oh, just the one time, though. I sensed Brenda became a little green-eyed monster around her, and rightly so. Whew, she was a cracker, all right.
Her drinks were watered down. Here, try this. It's my world-famous Mai Tai.
Brenda hands Prudence a drink full of umbrellas and fruit kebabs.
Tell me, honey, did you find what you were looking for?
Well, not exactly. I think I have more questions than ever now.
What was it you were looking to find, girlie?
Who was she looking for to find, rather? Why, her great ancestors, Emile and Marie. She's already met Margot.
Yes, but there's more. I didn't really let on about earlier because I don't know if he'd be here.
Well, we're halfway between 2 points. He's either here or up there or down there.
Your elegant way with words is like the music of a fine fiddle, whose strings have been ripped out and replaced with the hair of a wild boar's ass.
Don't mind him. He's like all the fancy trimmings around a turkey supper, but the turkey's just a skeleton that the buzzard's already been to. That's why you are General Curly Parsley and Cranberry Sauce.
And I suppose then you are the man of substance. You are the turkey.
Well, that's right.
Ensemble begins to laugh. Cabbage realizes he has called himself a turkey. Embarrassed, gets back to business, shuffling cards.
What was it you was wanting to meet?
Prudence slaps her hand on the table, indicating she's ready to play. General sits next to her, also ready to play.
Deal. My father, actually, he died when I was a child.
I don't recall seeing him pass through.
What'd they call him? Cut it, Lady Luck.
Never mind. It's too raw. It's too much to even consider right now. I don't even know if he'd recognize me or what I'd say if he did.
Well, if he is here, you can wager it. You win the hand, we find him for you.
I'll play along too. I'll wager a ceremony. The one we were so cruelly denied by fate.
Oh, a wedding. We'll get you all gussied up. I have some pearls that you can.
This is not a hasty matter, Brenda. And where's the other menial that brings the demon drink? I liked her better. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, details. We're to be wed on a Wednesday, as that will assure good fortune. Not a Friday or a Saturday. Prudence will have to leave a seam of her wedding gown unhemmed and not hem until that morning. A blue band for purity will be sewn into her gown, and the veil must be secure to hide her face from evil. We'll have a fiddle, of course, and a reed dance.
Now, wait a minute. Don't get all carried away about our wedding. I didn't agree to marry you.
Only for show, you silly thing, for fun. I would play your officiant. Now, do you think that I would actually be sealing the nuptials for real?
I don't know.
Oh, you like make-believe, don't you?
Well, yes.
Well, then don't be a snore. Let's play.
Don't you want to see your father? Imagine his surprise that you're coming here. It would be a grand reunion.
All right. Just one more hand. Waitress, bring me a Mai Tai.
Lights fade. End of scene 2.